Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 409 based on novel. So let's start. Evil Scholar. Xiao Yan's body suddenly trembled, and he stood directly in front of Zuna, covering up the monstrous evil aura that was coming towards him. Welcome to all of you. The evil and charming scholar smiled lightly, and actually got up from the black throne, and immediately bowed his head to Xiao Yang and the others below, with a bookish look. Where is there a trace of the king of the evil race from outside the realm? Horror vision. This guy. Peerless Heavenly Emperor and Xiao Yang looked at each other, the pressure in their hearts increased greatly. It seems that this guy's wisdom is much more arrogant than Blood King Mo. He and Blood King Mo are also in the 8-star Dozian consummation rank. With this amazing wisdom, I am afraid that the evil and charming scholar is the real scourge. Scholar Xiamai, you have occupied the core of my ancient clan for decades. Today, we have brought the elite of the ancient clan back. Zuna's lithe voice was particularly pleasant, and it contained a divine aura that purifies all things. Let the body of the soul behind him shake. Hehe, Jiu Yuan, it seems that among your ancient clan, there are also some good seedlings. Since that's the case, then it's up to you to treat them well. Seeing Zuna's attitude, Xiamai scholar was not in a hurry. Sitting on the black throne, he didn't know when there was a feather fan on his palm. Gently inciting, quite enjoying, as if waiting for something. Strange, what is that? There are 12 stone pillars on the left and right opposite each other, and the altar is clearly defined on the left and right. There seems to be something in the center of the two thrones. Xiao Yang's soul power spread out and sensed it away, but after resting, he returned without success. Yes, Master. A quiet answer sounded, and then the figure behind the black throne suddenly jumped off the altar, the black robe on his body faded, and a face that was very familiar to the strong people present emerged. Patriarch Jiu Yuan? How could it be? Looking at the familiar faces after the black robes were removed, hundreds of ancient powerhouses, including the peerless Heavenly Emperor, said in unison. The middle-aged man in front of him had a terrifying aura that stood proudly on his body, slowly filling his body, but now the evil black light surging in his eyes, without a trace of humanity, has been completely controlled by the evil scholar. It's really despicable. Seeing this, Xiao Yang couldn't help but curse it secretly. Jiu Yuan is one of my most beloved arts, but don't let me down. After all, that's the only way to watch it. The evil scholar pretended to be a mysterious smile. It seems that in his eyes, the power of Xiao Yang and others now is like ants, and he is the real master of this world. Existence is just born to witness the perfect art, and it is their supreme honor to witness and become a part of the perfect art. Defeat me, and you will be qualified to challenge my king. Otherwise, die. With a cold snort, circles of black evil light burst out like dark clouds on Jiu Yuan's body, and the power contained in it had a faint incomprehensible fluctuation. That is the fluctuation of reincarnation. Demon Emperor. Seeing such a terrifying dark cloud of energy, Xiao Yang didn't dare to hold back any of his hands. The fire-type fighting core in his body tumbled violently, and countless fighting chi spewed out, forming a 1,000-jong-sized demon emperor above everyone's heads. Afterimage, trying to resist the blow. The black cloud fell quietly like a star river, and even when it came into contact with Xiao Yang's demon emperor's celestial appearance, there was no obstruction, and cracks emerged from the afterimage of the demon emperor. Will fall apart completely. Damn. Feeling Jiu Yuan's random blow, Xiao Yang's pressure increased greatly, and his body was directly shaken upside down, and the holy flame in his hand squirmed, trying to dissolve this terrifying power. Shadow of the Golden Crow. Zuna frowned slightly, quite distressed, and the Golden Crow fire shadows circled out, directly meeting the afterimages of the shattered demon emperor, and the two joined forces to take Jiu Yuan's blow. The patriarch of the ancient clan is actually a complete powerhouse of the 8-star Dozian who touches the cycle of reincarnation. Xiao Yang waved his hand, and 5 colored flames swarmed out. Although the body trembled, the blood of the Xiao family became hot, and the clan lines on the eyebrows slowly sounded, and a touch of strength enough to compete with Jiu Yuan was slowly brewing. Patriarch Jiu Yuan has already touched Samsara, and now he is under the control of the evil scholar, I'm afraid. Peerless Heavenly Emperor and Jiu Yuan looked at each other and said doubtfully, Brother Jiu Yuan, the command of the army will be handed over to you. Me, Xiao Yang and Zuna must join forces to deal with Patriarch Jiu Yuan, then there is a chance of life. After a while, Peerless Heavenly Emperor said with a solemn expression, but now, he can only bite the bullet. Okay. Jiu Yuan nodded slightly when he heard the words, now that he is weak, but commanding the army is easy for him. I'll be the main attack in a while, and Zana's patriarch will defend, so Lord Xiao Yang will just wait for the opportunity. The peerless Heavenly Emperor can only say the same thing now. Okay. Zana bites her silver teeth, her body undulates violently, her slender hands tightly tug at the corner of her clothes, and even the reincarnation mark between her eyebrows flickers slightly, revealing an endless divine aura. Don't use that kind of power, do you hear me? Xiao Yang took a deep breath, and immediately said to Zana in a stern voice. He naturally knew what was going on in this little girl's head. But now is an extraordinary time. At this moment, Zana did not have the soft words of the past, but instead started arguing with Xiao Yang. Now Jiyu Yuan is too strong, even if the three of them join forces, the odds of winning are less than 10%, not to mention the evil and charming scholars who are eyeing tigers and countless evil people hidden in the ancient city of the sky. Zana has the reincarnation of the Fire Master of Zhu Xian. If you force the reincarnation, it will be enough to temporarily have the power to compete with Jiyu Yuan, but Zana knows that she has just obtained the reincarnation seal, and it is not yet unstable. Once it is used, I am afraid that Zhu Xian the reincarnation of the Fire Lord will fail completely, and he will also face a lot of backlash. After all, the reincarnation mark on Zana's body is not like Duo Chifei's precipitation over time. Trust me. Brother Xiao Yang has never let you down. So this time, you can trust me. Okay. But if you have any crisis, I will not hesitate to trigger samsara, even if it is the last burning samsara. Because I'm your wife. Zana nodded solemnly and said righteously. Don't worry, leave it to me. Xiao Yang also smiled comfortably, but he could smell a genuine tenderness from Zana's voice and solemn appearance. Obviously, she was not just talking. The killer's trump card failed. I'm afraid Zana will really be like this. That kind of action and price is obviously not something Xiao Yang can bear. For a time, Xiao Yang clenched his fist tightly, and a rare power slowly lingered out of his body. How powerful! That is the unique power of the descendants of the Xiao family, and it is also a power that can only be used by people of the Xiao family. Fortunately, at some special time, Xiao Yang awakened and successfully opened it up. Now a strong enemy has emerged, and the restlessness of the blood has finally made Xiao Yang. I discovered the power of the Xiao clan pattern between my eyebrows. Don't be so dawdling with mother-in-law and mother. If you are ready, then come to die obediently. Jiyu Yuan stepped out, and the surrounding void shattered instantly, and the monstrous evil power was like a curtain of sky, suppressing everyone present. He could have directly killed the three with the power of crushing, but in order for the evil scholar to enjoy and pursue that perfect art, this scene has just happened. Go. Seeing this, Xiao Yang snorted coldly, and immediately took the lead. Jiyu Yuan's strength is unfathomable, but Xiao Yang is still ready to test its truth, so that he can decide what means to use to suppress him. As soon as the voice fell, Xiao Yang, Zana and peerless Heavenly Emperor, the dazzling flames around their bodies were shining brightly, and the speed was as fast as a ghost. The fierce offensive in their hands was undoubtedly displayed, and they came to Jiyu Yuan's body in an instant. The attacks of the three people are all in the category of immortal arts. Obviously, to deal with a strong man like Jiyu Yuan, there is no need to warm up. Once you come, you must use your real skills, otherwise they will lose very quickly. No phase slash. Xiao Yang took the lead, and when he came to Jiyu Yuan's body, he let out a low roar, the holy pattern on the ancient ruler shone brightly, and an invisible energy ripple slowly poured out. It seemed that Xiao Yang's full-strength blow did not cause any substantial damage to Jiyu Yuan, only blowing his clothes and moving a tiny distance. Jiyu Yuan stretched out his palm and suddenly grabbed at the void. Xiao Yang's phaseless slash attack was instantly broken, and the shocking force made Xiao Yang's figure unstable, and he was quite embarrassed in the void. Glide in it. It's a good fire of holy flame, why don't you give it to me? Deciphering Xiao Yang's attack at will, Jiyu Yuan sarcastically said to Xiao Yang, his greed fluctuated without a doubt. 6 crows shining on the sun. Seeing this, Zana's heart was eager, and a coquettish shout emerged. The golden light all over the body was prosperous, and countless golden lights turned into flame spirits. After the blink of an eye, 6 sacred flame golden crows formed behind them. Only the golden crow carries the extremely sacred holy flame fire pattern, which burns the entire void like rounds of scorching sun, and a trace of hidden throbbing fills the entire sky. Crash! Under Zana's exquisite control, the 6 golden crows roared away at Jiyu Yuan in an orderly manner. They stretched their wings, and countless sacred scorching auras were revealed, gathering infinite golden flames like a sun. As dazzling, he moved towards Jiyu Yuan's suppression. Humph! Ancient fairyland. Jiu Yuan didn't dare to take it lightly when he saw this. After all, this is the top 10 holy flames. Even if Zuna has just acquired his inheritance, he has less than 1/10 of his power. Crash. Countless ice crystals emerged from Jiu Yuan's body, and traces of white cold air emerged, forming extremely cold ice flowers around him. Among the ice flowers, countless petals bloomed first, and the bone-chilling chill swept the entire square, causing the temperature here to drop suddenly. Bang bang bang. The ice crystal ice flower and the 6 golden crows touched gently. The dazzling golden light was extremely strong, and instantly crushed all the ice crystal petals. The top 10 holy flames on the holy flame list were so terrifying. Frozen for me. Jiu Yuan snorted coldly as he looked at the 6 tyrannical golden crows. The surrounding void suddenly collapsed, and boundless demonic chi gushed out, cooperating with the power of extreme ice in his body and stalemate. A moment later, the terrifying confrontation between the two emerged at the same time, turned into mists, and gently dissipated on the square. At first glance, it was a draw. Are you alright? As soon as the attack fell, Zuna's body rose and fell violently. It was obvious that the 6 golden crows had just been used to carry a heavy load on him. A trembling couldn't help but retreated backwards, and his figure was unstable. At this time, Xiao Yang appeared quietly and put his arms around him. Living on Zuna's willow waist, he said solemnly. It's okay. Zuna nodded, but his eyes were still wary of Jiu Yuan. Ancient immortal giant elephant. As soon as Zuna's attack was over, behind the peerless heavenly emperor, a towering golden giant suddenly stepped on the front, trying to cause a severe oppression on Jiu Yuan. Go away. Jiu Yuan roared at this, and the circles of fiery red flames turned into a wave of energy, spreading out like ripples. With a sound, when the fiery red energy ripples spread, the golden giant behind the peerless heavenly emperor scattered directly and fell apart. The powerful blow of the 3 powerhouses did not cause any damage to Jiu Yuan. This guy is actually a powerhouse with both ice and fire attributes. I'm afraid I'll have to rely on you next. Xiao Yang's expression suddenly changed, and he also had an idea in his heart. Brother Xiao Yang, please leave it to us. Zuna smiled sweetly, and naturally understood Xiao Yang's plan, and immediately exchanged glances with peerless heavenly emperor. The 2 turbulent attacks were on display, and Jiu Yuan was temporarily entangled. Stand up. Xiao Yang's body quickly retreated, almost disappeared, suddenly turned into an arc of fire and faded back, and he was also thinking violently in his mind. The fusion of the 6-color holy flames will take a lot of time. Now that the battle is urgent, it is impossible to have this time. No. Dark underworld warriors belong to darkness. With the wisdom of evil and charming scholars, I'm afraid they can guess something, but it won't work. No, hurry up. Xiao Yang tried his best to think of a solution, but looking at the 2 people who were constantly being teased by Jiu Yuan above the sky, an extreme killing intent emerged. Now I have to give it a try. I hope I can control the power of the clan marks. Otherwise, I will obliterate an 8-star Dozian who is successful and is still a powerhouse who touches reincarnation. My trouble is very big. Xiao Yang finished, his eyes were closed, his body was burning at a high speed, and a trace of tyrannical soul power communicated with the blood of the Xiao clan deep in his body. A devastating blow to Jiu Yuan, disintegrating the current disadvantage. Xiao Yang still doesn't quite understand the power of clan patterns. It seems that his clan patterns are different from ordinary clan patterns, but Xiao Yang is worrying is superfluous. After all, even if Xiao Yang perfectly uses the power of the clan mark, he can at most damage Jiu Yuan, and if he directly obliterates it, it will not be fantastic, unless Xiao Yang's strength breaks through the 8 stars and cooperates with the power of the clan mark. The power of the Xiao ethnic pattern is so terrifying. However, the 8-star fighting immortal who has touched the reincarnation of Jiu Yuan dignifiedly is complete. Whether it is strength or mentality, it should not be underestimated. Boom. Above the entire square, Zuna and peerless heavenly emperor fiercely attacked, but Xiao Yang sat quietly cross-legged, thinking something. It's almost there, don't let me down, otherwise the next game will be redundant. Xiemai scholar didn't seem to care about the situation of the battle, and he didn't intend to interfere with Xiao Yang. Jiu Yuan is a test set by himself. If they can defeat Jiu Yuan, they have the qualifications to play games with them. No matter what method is used, the evil scholar does not care. All he cares about is the result. After all, in his eyes, all puppets are just a chess piece. Following the battle on the square below, the 12 stone pillars on the altar were symmetrical to each other, and at the center, a chessboard stone table slowly emerged, but there was no chess piece on the chessboard stone table. Instead, it was impossible to touch it. The evil power to figure out is full of them. Dong dong dong. In the ancient clan square, Zuna and peerless Heavenly Emperor stubbornly resisted Jiyu Yuan, and Xiao Yang was also brewing a terrifying ultimate move. For a time, hundreds of powerful souls behind him looked at each other in dismay. He wanted to do something, but since Jiyu Yuan had no orders, he didn't dare to act rashly. Brother Jiyu Yuan, since the peerless Heavenly Emperor has given you the command of the Commander-in-Chief, you should take command. Although our old bones are quite old, we can still contribute to the ancients. Even if we die in battle, it is an honor. Outside the field, an old man with a transparent body said to Jiyu Yuan, his voice was quite deep meaning, but the suffocating breath in the body is extremely concealed. In the later stage of the 8-star fighting immortals, the second elder of the ancient jade was bronze. He, second bronze elder, don't be impatient. Jiyu Yuan sensed something and smiled lightly. But I have to say that among the hundreds of soul bodies behind them, there are no lack of 2 late-stage 8-star fighting immortals, 5 middle-stage 8-star fighting immortals, dozens of early-stage 8-star fighting immortals, and nearly 100 7-star fighting immortal powerhouses. Although they are only spirit bodies now, they are also a powerful force. Are you waiting for something? Hearing Jiyu Yuan's voice, an old woman's spirit body next to Jiyu Tong flickered slightly and approached Jiyu Yuan. The third elder of the ancient clan, the late stage of the 8-star fighting immortals, the ancient Magnolia. Now the battle situation is urgent. The patriarch Jiyu Zuna and the peerless Chendi predecessors can temporarily contain Jiyu Yuan, and what we have to do is to protect Sir Xiao Yang. Jiyu Yuan's eyes flickered, and he slowly looked at Xiao Yang, who was sitting quietly. At this time, Xiao Yang's whole body was full of blood, which was a precursor to stimulating the power of blood, and being attracted by Xiao Yang, Jiyu Yuan even felt an unprecedented fear from his body. This guy, although he has holy flames and has great combat power, but his strength is. Jiyu Yulon and Jiyu Tong looked at each other and shook their heads at the same time. A guy in the late stage of the 7-star fighting immortal, no matter how talented he is, he can't cause substantial damage to Jiyu Yuan, who is at the perfect level of the 8-star fighting immortal. They are quite puzzled by what Jiyu Yuan means. Everyone, please believe me. Now, if you want to resolve the disadvantage, you can only pin all your hopes on Xiao Yang. Jiyu Yuan looked at the disbelief of the many powerful people around him, and hurriedly said righteous words. But the 2 elders in the late stage of the 8-star fighting immortals looked at each other in dismay, and many of the powerhouses in the back didn't pay attention for a while. I, Jiyu Yuan, take the command of the ancient clan to protect Xiao Yang. All problems, I am willing to accept the clan rules and deal with it. Seeing this, Jiyu Yuan, an unusually bright Jiyu token flashed out on his palm. The terrifying power made these spirits have no sign of resistance. After all, this was an order from the ancient clan, and the people of their ancient clan couldn't resist it. Obviously, the peerless Heavenly Emperor had already handed this thing over to Jiyu Yuan. Okay. Then this time, we will listen to you. The 2 core elders, Bronze and Jiyu Yulon, said at the same time. Go. Protect Xiao Yang. Jiyu Yuan smiled comfortably, and after the blink of an eye, he rose into the air and went directly to Xiao Yang's position. On the other side, Zuna and peerless Heavenly Emperor's many shots were easily resolved by Jiyu Yuan. Interesting boy, but in front of me, it's a bit too whimsical. Jiyu Shenji. After temporarily repelling the 2, he saw Xiao Yang's blood vessels boiling behind him. A profound aura, like a giant dragon awakening from a slumber, slowly emerged. Jiyu Yuan smiled softly, and raised his palm slowly. With his index finger sticking out, a rare touch of energy converged on his fingertips and shot towards Xiao Yang. In an instant, the world turned pale, and the wind was blowing. It seemed that Xiao Yang would be completely annihilated under this finger. No. Seeing this, Zuna saw crystal tears flashing in her beautiful eyes, and the golden reincarnation seal between her eyebrows became stronger and stronger, with faint traces of shattering. Wait. Peerless Heavenly Emperor hurriedly pressed Zuna down, and then his figure quickly retreated. Damn it. It's still a little bit. Seeing this, Xiao Yang roared violently from the bottom of his heart when he felt this tingling finger. Only by pouring the power of the blood of the Xiao family into the clan lines can the most deadly attack erupt, but it takes time, and Xiao Yang cannot withdraw during the casting process. Once he is distracted, the casting will fall short. Crack. Eternal Immortal Seal. Xianxia Land Shield. Just when the deadly attack was about to hit Xiao Yang and Xiao Yang was about to give up casting, the void around Xiao Yang started to squirm, and the spiritual bodies were accompanied by waves of extremely violent energy. Vented out. Jiyu Yuan's tyrannical finger was directly resisted by many strong men. Let's cast the spell with peace of mind, and leave the rest to us. But in the end, I still have to rely on you. Jiyu Yuan slapped Xiao Yang on the shoulder and said with a smile. Xiao Yang nodded lightly, the speed in his body accelerated, and the power of the bloodline continued to roll, forming a blood-boiled light shield around Xiao Yang's body, and the between his eyebrows slowly opened and closed, like the vertical eye, which has been tightly closed for countless years, opens slightly, waiting for the moment when it opens its eyes. It will dominate this world. Bronze and ancient magnolia. Seeing this, the peerless heavenly emperor couldn't help but be falsely alarmed. He didn't want to let these guys do it. I'm trying to buy him some time. Everyone looked at each other, and immediately the terrifying offensive showed no doubt, and they went directly to Jiyu Yuan. Boom. On the square, the magnificent scene of hundreds of people besieging one person was quite shocking, but it didn't take long for these guys to have large and small scars all over their bodies. The success of the 8-star fighting immortals, which touches reincarnation, cannot be won by relying on the number of people. No way, at this rate, the spirits of these elders will be completely disintegrated. Looking at the scarred elders, Jiyu Yuan shook his head and said, since you have no value, then let's just die. It seems that he is tired of this kind of meaningless battle. Jiyu Yuan's black hair looks very strange. His body is slowly vacated, and the fiery red flames and white ice silk around him are slowly entangled, like a real god's mansion. World. Gulu. Seeing Jiyu Yuan in such a terrifying posture, everyone below felt an unprecedented silence. Ice and fire reincarnation. Die. Jiyu Yuan looked down like a demon at this time. The power of ice and fire on his body was perfectly integrated, and an energy storm exceeding 10,000 feet roared violently behind him, and every roar and noise would swallow this piece of heaven and earth. Exhausted, it seems that all the power of everyone is as small as ants in front of it, which is ridiculous. Thank you for your hard work, let me come. The power of the Xiao family's clan pattern, open. Under such a doomsday scene, a blood-colored figure walked out slowly, like the last ray of dawn in the darkness, and between his eyebrows, a golden aura shone with dignity. Eyes up, slightly open and close. In the center of the eyes, between the eyebrows, is the third eye. The vertical eye flickered slightly, and every time it opened and closed, the world would quietly crawl. That kind of aura and the power it contained had already surpassed the scope of heaven and earth. The reincarnation of ice and fire. Kill me. Feeling the extremely terrifying and unpredictable strange power in Xiao Yang's body, Jiyu Yuan's heart suddenly emerged, and he didn't have time to think about it. The ice and fire storm behind the power of reincarnation, like a raging wind, roaring away at the crowd in the square below. The power of reincarnation, coupled with the perfect reincarnation of ice and fire, even if the true 8-star fighting immortal is successful, I am afraid it will only end in a sad end. The power of clan tattoos, destroy it. Xiao Yang smiled slightly, his eyes closed at the same time, and the golden vertical eye was replaced by the golden glow. The indescribable warmth pervaded everyone's heart, and the whole world was swept away by Xiao Yang. Golden vertical eyes shrouded in brilliance. At this moment, the source of all things trembled slightly, and the entire heaven and earth became golden, indescribably harmonious, but the destruction under the reincarnation storm of ice and fire was diluted away, like a breeze, without any lethality. Despised by the golden vertical eyes and covered by golden brilliance, the ice and fire storm containing the power of reincarnation was tightly bound in place, unable to move. The crack of purpose emerged from the storm. No, it's impossible. At this moment, Jiyu Yuan's pupils shrank tightly, and an unprecedented fear emerged. His power was completely lost and his attack was broken. Today's Jiyu Yuan is like being in a temple. The magnificent aura suppresses him, making him not dare to have any bad thoughts. Yang's next attack. Tear it. Feeling the horror of the vertical eyes formed by Xiao Yang's clan pattern, a thick black liquid automatically emerged from Jiyu Yuan's body, completely wrapping Jiyu Yuan's body, and an evil aura slowly emerged. Come back to life. Good chance. The power of the clan mark, deprive it. Looking at the black liquid, Xiao Yang smiled, the golden vertical eyes between his eyebrows suddenly closed, and then opened, a golden beam of light that penetrated the heavens and the earth burst out. No one can understand and decipher the power contained in the golden beams. Everyone can only crawl down quietly. Above the golden beams, the ancient patterns of ancient times are brilliant, suppressing the endless demons and facing the sky directly. The black liquid that occupied Jiyu Yuan's body disappeared. It was at this time that Xiao Yang was waiting. The black aura was obviously the core of controlling Jiyu Yuan. As long as he solved it or was seriously injured, Xiao Yang believed that he could awaken Jiyu Yuan. Double ethnic pattern? Impossible. At this moment, a gloomy voice emerged from the black aura in Jiyu Yuan's body. With a sound, the golden beam easily penetrated Jiyu Yuan's chest, and that chest is where the black is also the densest. A deafening and miserable voice emerged from Jiyu Yuan's mouth, and immediately the black liquid seemed to be fatally injured, and quickly gathered towards Jiyu Yuan's chest, trying to fill this fatal injury. Return. Senior, this is my limit, the rest is up to you. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, his vertical eyes disappeared immediately, and he fell weakly on the square. Give me, get out. Seemingly feeling Xiao Yang's kindness, Tiantian Guyuan's aura had undergone earth-shaking changes. He covered his head with his hands, his face was extremely pale, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. The screams were unresolved. Boom. After a few breaths, Jiyu Yuan clasped his hands together, a force of reincarnation gathered in his palms, and suddenly slapped the last trace of evil on his chest. The place of attack is the position of his heart. Crack. With a sound, feeling the righteousness of Jiyu Yuan's death, the black liquid in his body trembled, and he fled directly, facing the evil spirit scholar on the altar. Master, Master, Jiyu Yuan broke free from my control. The black aura just came under the throne of the evil and enchanting scholar, and said in a dejected manner, "No problem." The evil scholar did not take it for granted and said casually, "Bang bang bang." After doing all this, Jiyu Yuan also returned to normal, but his body suddenly fell from the sky, but the breath in his body was much more comfortable, and the evil breath from the serious injury naturally couldn't stop Jiyu Yuan. "Little guy, thank you very much." After expelling the evil aura, Jiyu Yuan directly smashed a big hole in the square, but slightly opened his mouth to Xiao Yang. His voice was full of relief. "It's too early to say thanks now." Xiao Yang also reluctantly supported his weak body and stood up, hurriedly helped Jiyu Yuan up and said, after confirming again and again that the source of evil in Jiyu Yuan's body was clear and clean, he was relieved. Otherwise, just Jiyu Yuan, an 8-star Dozian perfection powerhouse, can make their previous plans go to waste this time. Now that the source of evil that controlled Jiyu Yuan has been driven out, Jiyu Yuan has returned to normal, but now his power has been greatly affected. I am afraid that at most it can cope with the later stage of the 8-star Dozian. The source of evil has consumed Xiao Yang and Jiyu Yuan's enormous power. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Just when everyone felt that the crisis was in contact, the evil and charming scholar in the sky stood up slightly, his hands slowly slapped, and his voice was extremely evil. It seemed that Jiyu Yuan had broken free from control, and it did not affect his aloof posture at all, as if everything still under his control. Evil scholar. Seeing this, Jiyu Yuan vented his grievances. Back then, I brought most of them to the Soul Palace to obliterate them, but I was secretly colluded by Soul Palace and Siamai Scholar to completely control myself and others. Only now did I have the current scene. As the ancient patriarch, as an 8-star fighting fairy, the reincarnation powerhouse is here. This is a shame, and the best way to solve the shame is to kill the evil and enchanting scholar, and shame before the snow. Congratulations on passing the test. Now, it's time to play the next game. But I have to remind you in advance that if someone breaks the rules of the game, they will die without a place to be buried. After the evil spirit scholar finished speaking, the monstrous blood energy was released, and the whole world shook. No! It's the evil spirit of the evil scholar. Jiyu Yuan couldn't care about the weakness in his body, he only felt that the world was spinning, and he couldn't help roaring immediately. Jiyu Yuan was fortunate enough to have seen the evil equipment of the evil and charming scholar. The evil equipment is not as arrogant as other kings, but the power contained in it is unquestionable. Even Jiyu Yuanfu felt a palpitation. It's too late. Seeing Jiyu Yuan's actions to stop his game from unfolding, the evil scholar snorted coldly, and thousands of figures all around him filed out from the dark to surround him. It's actually our body. The bronze Jiyu Yulon and the others at the back took a deep breath. Seeing that their body was actually controlled by a foreign evil clan, they couldn't help taking a deep breath. And everyone is bound by these strong men, so they can only stand quietly in place, waiting for the so-called game of the evil spirit scholar to slowly unfold, not knowing whether it is death or rebirth. Crash. After the evil scholar finished speaking, the dazzling blood energy around his body was released, instantly shrouding countless powerhouses, and a trace of dark sand quietly landed in everyone's body. What exactly is this guy selling? Feeling the swirling void around him, Xiao Yang couldn't help but ask, as if the evil and enchanting scholar had already teleported them to some special void by tyrannical means. After the rest, everyone came to a forest. There are trees in the sky in the whole space here. The trees are full of dead silence and awe. On the surrounding ground, the smell of blood is extremely strong. An inch of land, every trace of air is extremely corroded. This terrifying scenery washes everyone's minds and hearts. It seems that they are very close to death. Welcome to my game, the board of life and death. This is the forest of death. Only humans who have successfully passed the forest of death are eligible to play chess with me. At the same time, the outcome of the chess game is related to the life and death of all of you, so decide who can fight me. I wish you good luck. The evil spirit scholar's frantic voice was extremely harsh, echoing faintly in this forest of death. King, is this too risky for you? The chessboard of death is the 20th evil tool in our foreign evil clan. If you lose, we will also be punished by the evil tool, because no one has been able to escape since ancient times. At that time, I am afraid we will suffer the consequences. The evil and enchanting scholar stood on the altar, looking at the tens of thousands of spiritual bodies in the forest of death on the chessboard. The evil origin that controlled Gu Yuan's body couldn't help but said, "Humph. What do you know? Those evil gods are high above and think they can control us, but compared to my art, what is it? This is art, and it cannot be profaned." The Siamai scholar was too lazy to pay attention to it, smiled slightly, and did not continue to speak. He continued to sit on the black throne, looking at the phantom on the chessboard, watching the actions of Xiao Yang and others. This guy is really a lunatic. On the edge of the forest of death, Gu Yuan looked at the dead forest in front of him and couldn't help shaking his head. Senior Gu Yuan, what's going on? Xiao Yang, Zuna, and bronze elders approached slightly and asked Gu Yuan, but the tens of thousands of spirits behind them were quietly standing on the edge of the forest of death. Without them nod, there will be no action. The chessboard of death, this is the 20th ranked evil tool among the extraterrestrial evil races. It takes a lot of time and countless blood to cast it. The caster, as a chess player, will be tested in the forest of death after casting, and another chess player will be selected to compete with him. Its role is to use all the creatures on the chessboard as a bargaining chip. The victory or defeat of the two chess players on the chessboard determines the life and death of everyone behind them. Gu Yuan's expression flashed with a rare solemnity. Unexpectedly, he just broke free from the control of the demon, but was involved in such a terrifying incident. Listening to Gu Yuan's solemn explanation, the brand in Xiao Yang's palm became flickering. Be careful, there is not only evil aura in this evil tool, but the underworld aura is even stronger. The Dark Underworld Master communicated with Xiao Yang through the handprint branding. The power of the underworld. Xiao Yang said hesitantly after hearing this. Look at these things. After the breath, under the guidance of the Dark Underworld Master, Xiao Yang also came to a clear understanding, and immediately grabbed lightly into the void, and traces of dark matter emerged like grains of sand. What is this? Zuna, Gu Yuan, and the others around him hurriedly surrounded Xiao Yang's actions. This is dark matter. When we entered here, it has taken root in our body. Once the chess player fails, we will be completely destroyed by it. Of course, on the contrary, if we win, the evil scholar, including all the forces behind him that rule the ancient clan, will also be destroyed in the evil gear. This is the terrifying part of the dark power, and it is also the rule of the underworld. Even an evil and enchanting scholar who is as strong as an 8-star fighting fairy can't change it. Xiao Yang told the information he knew in one breath. Listening to Xiao Yang's explanation, several people present and tens of thousands of spiritual bodies shook their heads at the same time. The entire border of the Death Forest was deadly quiet. Everyone knew that what Xiao Yang said was true, but this was related to the lives of countless strong people. On the chessboard, no one dared to make a sound. Brother Xiao Yang, let me go. Seeing the appearance in front of him, Zuna put her slender hands on her back, turned gracefully, and turned her back to Xiao Yang. Now that he is also the new patriarch of the ancient clan, he should provoke this role, both public and private. No, the ancients need you. Xiao Yang grabbed Zuna, his voice very firm. I'll go. Zuna, this girl took over my position. I am also very pleased. I have done too many wrong things in the past, so let me, the unqualified patriarch, make up for it once. Looking at Xiao Yang and Zuna struggling, Gu Yuan endured. He couldn't help but smile. I'm sorry, Senior Gu Yuan. I'm afraid I'll have to go alone this time. Xiao Yang said with a slight smile, with a resolute aura in his voice. No. Gu Yuan and Zuna snorted coldly at the same time and refused. Of course Zuna wouldn't let Xiao Yang take risks. Jiu Yuan also saw the potential in this kid, and naturally he wouldn't ruin his future in vain. I know a little about the power of darkness and dark matter, and I also know a thing or two about the game of chess. If you are willing to give me your life and death, I am willing to give it a try. Xiao Yang suddenly turned around, and a voice sounded, so that tens of thousands of spiritual bodies can hear it clearly. Isn't there any other way? Listening to Xiao Yang's solemn words, the spirits behind them were unable to sigh and said, their strength is extraordinary, and their status is not low, and their future prospects are limitless, but how could they fall into this place? In the midst of a horrific catastrophe, dark matter has penetrated our body. If we escape without fighting, we will all fall here soon. We still have a 50% chance of winning the chessboard battle. Xiao Yang knew that this kind of thing couldn't be forced, so he could only clarify the relationship between them and wait for their decision. Brother Xiao Yang, I believe in you. The old man is also. Xiao Yang's voice just fell, without any thought. Zuna and Jiu Yuan father and daughter took a step forward at the same time, smiled at Xiao Yang. There was a touch of unreservedness in his voice of trust. I also agree with brother Xiao Yang to be the life and death chessboarder. After a while, Jiu Yuan, Bronze Jiu Yulon and others nodded their heads. We are willing to hand over our life and death to Lord Xiao Yang. The rear was quiet for a while, and then the harsh thunder sounded out. Okay. Xiao Yang nodded solemnly, and immediately bowed to several high-level executives beside him, and saluted the tens of thousands of spiritual bodies behind him. Madam, don't move around here after I leave, and see how your husband breaks his life and death chessboard. The dashing voice faded away, and Xiao Yang's figure slowly stepped into the forest of death. If anything happens to him, all the powerhouses of our ancient clan will spontaneously ignite their origins and die together with the evil and charming scholar. Jiu Yuan looked at Xiao Yang's leaving figure and said to Zuna, he'll be fine. Because he is Xiao Yang, a descendant of Xiao Yang, and my husband. The elegant voice sounded slightly, but everyone knew that there was a touch of unreserved trust in this light voice, as well as a touch of monstrous chill. Power. It is unimaginable that once Xiao Yang fails, what kind of terrifying fire of anger will be faced by the evil scholar. This video will end here.